Not very effective. Was that Banded Silvally? Oh my Lanta. Am I about to get memed on? Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is CBAD and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Road to Master Ball tier here on the ranked double battle ladder. Been a little bit since I've been able to sit down and actually record this, but I'm excited because I've got some cool news for you. I'm actually going to my first mid-season showdown this weekend. Actually, I think depending on when videos line up, I may actually be at the mid-season showdown by the time you guys are watching this. So we'll see. I know I posted about it on Twitter. If the mid-season showdown goes well, there's a premiere challenge that evening as well. So we're going to see exactly what happens there, but I am excited. I hope you guys are too. If you guys are, show some love on that like button down below. Of course, if you guys are new, feel free to subscribe for some more VGC content. We do have a rental team here by my friend Katie, BlueJayOnToast. I will be linking the battle code down below, of course, so you guys can go check that out. She did say she did get this from another rental team from Solar Man on the Trainer Tower, I believe. I believe she said she modified some of the special attack on the Rotom, but we do have this team here with Throat Spray Sylveon, White Herb Scrafty. We have the Lumberry Dragon Dance Tyranitar, Sash Excadrill, Citrus Berry, Rotom Heat, and Leftovers Gastrodon. So I'm excited. We're still in the Great Ball tier. We are ranked 7. We managed to climb our way out of the Great Ball tier in the last episode, or climb our way into the Great Ball tier, I guess I should say. But we are currently 12-6. We're keeping a 2-1 streak right now. We know that people in the Great Ball tier are much more threatening than those in the Pokeball tier. So let's see what my first opponent is going to be bringing. They have Milotic, Chandelure, Durant, Grimmsnarl, Duraludon, and Vanillux. So I do like Sylveon's ability to kind of bully everything. Well, by bully everything, I mean the Grimmsnarl. So maybe Sylveon isn't the best bet. I do like Scrafty. I also like leading Sand. I like leading Sand. I always like leading Sand. I like Gastrodon to deal with the Milotic because I feel like Milotic is going to come, seeing that I have 3 Pokemon weak to water. Then I think Rotom Heat's probably my next best bet. So I'm going to lead Sand. I actually think this weekend what I'm going to do, if I can get the team in game, what I want to do is go Sand. I really enjoyed Sand matchups in VGC. If you guys can't tell, that was one of the reasons I wanted to use Katie's team. I was like, oh, does this have Sand? Does this have Sand? I love Sand matchups. So we're going to lead off with our Sand. Hopefully that as well. Threats in the... And I figured out, everybody in the comment section on Twitter who helped me out during my bad case of having the dumb, that even though I had a Choice Scarf Tyranitar, I lose the Choice Scarfness when I'm Dynamax, so I probably would have been better actually staying regular form and going for a Superpower and a Max Knuckle. But either way, we're going to lead off against my opponent, see what she leads off with. She is going to lead off with the Vanillux and the Milotic. That is not at all what I wanted, because if that thing gets Freeze Dry, that's going to be annoying. So I think... So they're faster. So the Snow Warning is going to go off first. However, my Sandstream is going to activate afterwards. So we know that Vanillux is very, very fast, potentially even a choice variant. What I would like to do is I would like to switch Tyranitar out for the Gastrodon to lure in that water move from the Milotic. And what I will do here is go for an Iron Head into the Vanillux. And my opponent certainly could Dynamax. I think my opponent keeping Vanillux in a regular form does help them out a bit more, though, because of that freeze dry that would be super effective on the Gastrodon. But I would say that I don't know if he would anticipate that right out the gate and maybe freeze dry the Tyranitar slot, but based off weather turns, you guys can see it was at the very worst he won a speed tie. But is that a shiny Milotic? It is a shiny Milotic. I'll be damned. And they're actually going to withdraw the Vanillux as well, and they're going to replace the Vanillux with the Grimmsnarl. So we're actually going to get a big hit off onto this shiny Grimmsnarl right here. We are going to get a gigantic hit off onto this thing, which I'm okay with. My opponent could have Muddy Water or Surf. I have a shiny Gastrodon. My opponent actually Dynamax the Milotic. So they're not going to get any spread coverage, and they could go for a Max Geyser, but we're going to be able to absorb that. And I don't know if absorbing that with Storm Drain allows the water to still be set, the rain side effect. So they're going to be able to Dynamax that Milotic here. We are going to be able to get a huge Iron Head off into that Grimmsnarl slot, though. doing some big boy damage. We actually almost take it out. I don't think we put it in sand range. And it's actually eject button Grimmsnarl, so he's going to be able to cycle probably back out into the Vanilluxe, I'd anticipate. Which is a pretty decent play, I'd have to say. Chandelure, actually. Interesting. Okay. So we see my opponent has a full shiny team here. The Max Geyser comes off, but our Gastrodon Storm Drain is going to be able to take that. And it does boost the special attack of our Gastrodon here. So we do get some sand damage off on both of my opponent's Pokemon. We break any potential sash that the Chandelure might have. And what I'd like to do right now is actually double into the Milotic slot here. No, because of this Chandelure. Hold on. So let's go for a Scald. Let's go for an Earth Power into Milotic, and then what I'll do here is actually Dynamax and Max Rockfall. I'll actually Max Quake the Chandelure. Max Quake will give us the defense boost. No. Max Quake gives us special defense. Max Quake gives us defense. Final answer. No. Rockfall sets up the sand. I want to say defense is... Ground does defense. We're going to figure it out right now. We're going to figure it out right now as we go for this Max Quake into the Chandelure. We take it out. Do we get a special defense boost? Survey says special defense. Wow, I was wrong. Okay, I thought it was that. So Steel Spike's the one that does our defense. So special defense helps us out against the Milotic, against the incoming Vanilluxe more than likely. So he does go for a Max Hailstorm, actually. So that's going to be the Gigantamax Ice move, or the Dynamax Ice move. And that does a tremendous amount of damage here to my Gastrodon. It does also set up the Hail. So my concern here... So here's what I want to do. Hold on. Think about this with me for just a second. So probably going to go on to Vanilluxe. And Vanilluxe is more than likely going to have... Vanilluxe is more than likely going to be... I want to say choice in some fashion. And I want to say they'd have Freeze Dry. So what I want to do is actually protect with my Gastrodon this next turn. They could go Grimmsnarl. And completely throw me off my groove. They go on to the Vanilluxe. Okay, so the Vanilluxe does come out. Vanilluxe is also shiny just as well as of everything else on their team. So I'm actually going to protect with the Gastrodon in case that Freeze Dry comes off. And I will go for a Max Rockfall into the... What's the threat here? I think the Vanilluxe, actually. I think the Vanilluxe is going to be the threat. So I'm going to protect, like I said. I believe my opponent would go for a Freeze Dry here. I am going to protect on that Freeze Dry. As my opponent actually sets up Aurora Veil. Interesting. So they were not choiced in any fashion. The Veil is going to come up. We do get a big Max Rockfall off, though. And our Sand is going to be able to take away that Veil, if I'm not mistaken. And we actually KO the Vanilluxe through Veil. Is that a crit? I don't believe that was a crit. And I believe the Rockfall takes away the Veil, too. Which is fine by me. My opponent's probably going to go, there's another Max Hailstorm coming off. They can keep going for a Max Hailstorm. We did protect, so we are going to get a little less damage than normal, and we did get that special defense boost thanks to our Max Quake. So we will be able to get a little bit of leftovers recovery. Unfortunately, that Hail is going to cancel that out. I think that was my last turn of Dynamax. I believe, unfortunately, that was my last turn of Dynamax. Which is fine because now my opponent is down to the very low Grimmsnarl and the Milotic, which could certainly have recover. It's actually still... Ooh. We're in big trouble here. I'm going to recover with my Gastrodon, and I'm going to go for a Max Rockfall into the Milotic here. I'm going to reset that weather. Battle was canceled. My opponent ends up forfeiting. We win that first, and thank you to my opponent for being so courteous. So we could have Max Rockfall to reset our weather here. I don't think the Milotic would have been able to take out our Excadrill based off of the special defense boost we got from our Max Quake earlier on in that game. So we do get a really solid first match, which I'm 100% okay with. I do like my sand matchups. I do like my sand. We're going to gain a little bit of points. We're going to keep on with that same Rose theme. We're going to try to go 2 in a row here. We're going to try to go 2 in a row here. My opponent does have a pretty similar team. So my opponent does also carry sand. My opponent carries the Rotom Heat, as well as the Melodic, a Hitmontop, and a Togekiss. And I feel like I've seen this team before. If it's not a standard, I think... Is that a rental team? Is that a rental team? I'm pretty sure I've used this team, actually. I'm pretty sure I've used this team. So that's Air Balloon Tyranitar. So I'm going to lead... That's Air Balloon Tyranitar. That's Choice Band Excadrill. And it does have Rock Slide. So I'm going to lead Scrafty Gastrodon here. And then I think I go Sylveon and my own Excadrill. Yeah, that's the Hibiki VGC team right there. That's Air Balloon Teat. Yeah, that is I have used that team. All right, so we know exactly what my opponent is going to be bringing. We know exactly what my opponent's going to be bringing. So let's go for it. Should I know what the team is? No. Do I have an advantage because my opponent used a rental team on our road to Master Ball tier? I forgot the question. Should I be looking at the team? No. Do I know what the team is? Then because I've used this before, I do. So my opponent actually leads off with the Hitmontop and the Rotom here. Unfortunately, that's going to pop my White Herb on my Scrafty. So they probably thought I also was going to lead Sand, and this was their way of going around it. So we do get a counter Intimidate off here. We're in a pretty solid position, if I do have to say so myself. The Rotom is Choice Specs and can probably go for a trick. We do pop each other's White Herbs, which is pretty interesting. So what I do want to do here is I want to fake out the Hitmontop, and then I'm going to protect with Gastrodon. So I think the Rotom would try to trick or maybe get out of there, but we did see, actually, the Hitmontop's fake out went first, so he's probably going to fake me out. Or you go for a close combat. But we did pop each other's White Herbs, which is good to know. You know, the Hitmontop is close combat, Sucker Punch, fake out, and detect. So we'll see just exactly what my opponent ends up deciding to do. I would fake out with Hitmontop or close combat, but I would certainly try to cripple the Gastrodon early on by tricking it. The fake out does come off, and it does go out into the Scrafty slot, so he doesn't go for the close combat. He gets a crit fake out, and my opponent goes for a Volt Switch. So they actually doubled in Scrafty. So even though I know my opponent's team, I made the absolute wrong plays. So I'm going to close that so I don't try to do any shenanigans here, because it's obviously not getting me anywhere. So we're going to see what my opponent Volt Switched out into. We're going to see just exactly what he wanted to go out into. Tyranitar actually comes out. That's a really interesting choice. That is a really interesting choice. So we know this Tyranitar is Air Balloon. I'm actually going to protect with my Scrafty, and I'm going to Scald. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Max Geyser the Tyranitar here. I'm going to Max Geyser to change the weather. Get some big boy damage off on that Sand Setter there. That would feel like a close combat would come off from the Hitmontop. I definitely feel like that would be the case. So we're going to get big on him real quick. My opponent goes for Crunch. He goes for close combat into the Scrafty. So not the worst turn of events here, because we are going to be able to get that Max Geyser off. Let me get some big boy damage off on that Tyranitar. Oh boy. We are going to be able to change the weather here from that sand, so that's fine by me. We do pop the air balloon, of course, and then we do get the leftovers as well. So I certainly could see my opponent going for another attacking move into the Gastrodon. So, or into Scrafty. So I'm going to actually swap that out for Sylveon, and I'm going to go for a Max Geyser. I'm going to go for a Max Geyser into the Hitmontop slot here. Because if anything, I think he might switch out the Tyranitar, or he could just keep it in. He could also get big on me. Tyranitar goes for another crunch into the Gastrodon. That is a crit. That is indeed a crit. And the Hitmontop does go for close combat. It does go into the Sylveon slot. Unfortunately, it is not going to do too much to us. And I think due to the special defense drop, the Rain Boost, and the Max Geyser, we might be able to take out the Hitmontop right here. And we are able to take out the Hitmontop, so that's no more Intimidate. That's no more priority with Fake Out. That's no Protect. So we are going to get our recovery here. We do have one more turn of Dynamax as well, so we are going to be able to get another Max Geyser off. Our Sylveon is going to be able to go for a very powerful Hyper Voice and whatever wants to come out here. As the Excadrill actually comes out. So with Excadrill coming out, I'm going to protect my Sylveon, and I'm going to Max Geyser. Doing more. I'm going to Max Geyser the Excadrill here. This Excadrill can really go for a Max Rockfall here. They could double both into my Gastrodon. Just kind of finish it up. But if anything, he could Dynamax with either the Tyranitar or the Excadrill. Go for a Rock-type move to set up that sand to activate Excadrill's Sand Rush. And it looks like my opponent is actually going to Dynamax the Excadrill. My opponent does end up Dynamaxing the Excadrill, so like I said, he is going to be naturally faster. Both of them are naturally faster than my Gastrodon here, so we can certainly attempt to go for a large Max Geyser into that Excadrill. We did do, I feel like, the right play in saving our Scrafty to go for the Intimidate. The Max Quake comes off. Interesting enough, and the Max Quake does go into the Gastrodon slot. It does some big boy damage. It's going to give my opponents a special defense boost. And my opponent's Tyranitar is going to go for the Crunch into Gastrodon as well. And that is actually going to knock out my Gastrodon. So what we can do here is go out into our... What we can do here... We do have our own Excadrill to click Earthquake, or High Horsepower, excuse me. I think Scrafty is the better play to get the Intimidate on both my opponent's Tyranitar and my Excadrill, because we can at least get a Fake Out off into my opponent's Tyranitar. And I think what I want to do... I would like to Mystical Fire the Excadrill, and I'm going to Fake Out the Tyranitar. And I know we're in the rain. But the Fake Out prevents the threat of the Tyranitar, and it's gonna allow for the Excadrill to go for a Steel move, more than likely into my Sylveon. So I do want to at least get that Fake Out off, as my Tyranitar actually goes for the Protect, so he made the good play there. The Fake Out, unfortunately, does not connect. My opponent could go for a Max Rockfall. He does go for the Max Steel Spike, more than likely into the Sylveon slot. Actually goes into the Scrafty slot. Okay, so we are going to be able to get a... Mystical Fire off into that Excadrill here, and the rain should be ending shortly. Scrafty did do its job in getting the Intimidate off. We do get the Mystical Fire in the rain with the negative special defense boost. Unfortunately, That is not going to do too much. We dropped the Excadrill special attack, though, which is wonderful. So what we can do here is go out into our own Excadrill. We are Focus Sash. What I would like to do is go for a Hyper Voice into both of them. And then go for a High Horsepower into my opponent's Excadrill. We did break any potential Sash. We haven't seen a Life Orb or anything. Or we do know it's actually banded Excadrill from the rental team. So we do know that it is banded. So once it no longer Dynamaxes, it is locked into a move. I'd anticipate with the Rotom Heat in the back, it might lock himself into Earthquake. But we'll see what exactly my opponent wants to do. He could certainly save the Tyranitar to reset Sand for him. But I am going to do my best here to get a large high horsepower off into the Excadrill and see what exactly he wants to go for here. I thought the team looked familiar, but we're going to try it. We're going to try it. It's 2v3, but we're not out just yet. We do still have, and once we get this Hyper Voice off with our Sylveon, we do have the Throat Spray activated, which does give us +1. Our high horsepower is going to come off, and actually without that defense boost, that would have knocked out the opponent's Excadrill. He goes for the Max Quake. That is going to give him the additional defense boost that he needs more than likely. That is going to bring Excadrill down to the Sash. And provided my Sylveon is faster than that Tyranitar, we should be able to get a big Hyper Voice off to keep it still, to knock it out. He gets an actual extra special defense boost. So let's see exactly if this works. The Crunch comes off. The Crunch actually goes into the Excadrill here. So unfortunately, my Excadrill is going to go down. But so knowing your opponent's team doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to be able to do what you want to do. We do knock out the Tyranitar here. Unfortunately, I don't think even Sylveon can take on Banded Excadrill and a Rotom Mosh. We do have a plus special attack. So we are able to get a Mystical Fire off into that Excadrill, but unfortunately, we're just not going to cut it. So that's going to be game there. I'm not going to try to we're not taking a Banded Iron Head, so I am just going to call that here. And unfortunately, we're 1-1. So what we need to do now is in this next match, we need to bring it back to our 2-1 stature. You know, we need to just keep things running as they are, as they should be. And that's what I get for knowing my opponent's team and not doing anything about it. So we unfortunately lose those points that we got in the last episode. We're going to try to keep up this 2-1 status that we have here. Hopefully being able to pull off a little bit more of a better scenario for you. I want to end 14-7 preferably. So let's see what my opponent wants to do there. I think trying to counter team. My opponent tried to counter team me and I tried to counter team my opponent. Unfortunately, their counter team paid off a little bit better than mine. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. My opponent has 4 Pokemon, so I know exactly what they are bringing. Whimsicott, Blank, Diggersby, Togekiss. So I do like Sand leading off. I do like Sand. I do like Rotom. And I think Sylveon's always really good for spread. So we're going to go ahead and lead off. Oh, there's not much prediction here. So let's see what exactly happens. We'll see exactly what happens here. I like my opponent's trainer card a lot. I don't know what it is. I think it's the gold foil around the edges. How do I get the gold foil around the edges? That's what I want. That's what I want. I'm just going to throw my microphone everywhere, and you guys are just going to have to deal with that. So my opponent leads off with the Silvally and the Whimsicott, as I lead Excadrill and Tyranitar. So my opponent could certainly go for like a parting shot of some sort. Looks to be Silvally normal. Silvally normal. Okay, so what I can do here is I can actually double Rock Slide. I'll actually double down. I'll quadruple down, as my opponent does set up the Tailwind here. So Silvally's going to get a fast parting shot off onto something. Oh! You're just going to boom. So oh my god! Okay. Not very effective. Was that Banded Silvally? Oh, my Lanta. Oh. Am I about to get memed on? Am I getting memed on? That gets quick attack. All right. So, there's a tailwind up. But I'm faster than Diggersby. This is an interesting scenario that I have here. I'm gonna double rock slide both of them again here. I have no idea what the hell's going on. So we do get about half on the Togekiss. We don't do that much damage. We do flinch the Togekiss. And my opponent goes for Earthquake and knocks out my other two Pokemon. So, it's a very interesting scenario that we're presented with here. Very, very interesting scenario that we're presented with here. So, what do I have in the back? And that is Life Orb, Diggersby. And Togekiss is going to be buffeted by the Sandstorm. I think I'm getting memed on. I have Rotom, which is good for the Diggersby, and I have Sylveon. So, what I think I want to do here... with Rotom... I think with Rotom, I'm going to Protect. And with Sylveon, I'm going to go for Hyper Voice to get the boost up. Because I feel like if this is Life Orb Diggersby, it has a Rock type move to hit Rotom Heat. Or Rotom in general. Or Return. It could just go for Return. Or not Return. Facade. Some strong normal move. Giga Impact, as far as I'm getting memed on. I don't know. Exploding Bunnies. But... we'll see exactly what my opponent wants to go for here. This is actually going to Dynamax the Diggersby? Togekiss, actually. Okay. So my opponent does Dynamax the Togekiss, which is fine for the most part. My opponent could definitely go for a Max Airstream here into something. Here's the Max Airstream. So Max Airstream into the Sylveon. That's going to hurt a lot. And if my opponent doubles into Sylveon, I might just be at a loss here. But I'm going to try my best to hopefully predict that he went for a Rock move as he just goes for another Earthquake. That's going to knock out my Sylveon. That's unfortunate. So that's going to go off into the Sylveon. Sylveon faints. I have to Dynamax and hope my big ol' Rotom can deal with it, truthfully. I truthfully have to hope that's what I can go for here. So I think what I want to do is I am going to Dynamax and Max Flare into the Diggersby as I resist everything from the Togekiss. I can't believe I got memed on by an Explosion Silvally. Wow, I'm shook. Like, it worked. Like, it panned out. I don't know, man. Let's go for it. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirly bird. I'm going to Max Flare this Diggersby and hope. And then I hope that we just, you know, can take two. I've got the Citrus Berry intact, so we're living large. We're living large. Rotom, I need you to do your thing. There's the Max Airstream. We resist. It's not doing a lot. Not doing a lot. It's not doing a lot. I gotta live one hit from this. I gotta live one hit from this Diggersby, please. Fire Punch. Okay. So that's still not gonna break us down to our Citrus Berry. I'm not gonna get my hopes up here. We do get the Max Flare off. We are able to take down the Diggersby. And I think Togekiss actually has one more turn of Dynamax. So with the Tailwind petering out, I'm actually going to go for a Max Guard here. It's still going to be faster than me. It's still going to be faster than me, but I want to know if this thing, he can Air Slash me to death. He can Air Slash flinch me to death. I mean, that's what Togekiss is good at. But I want to give myself a fighting chance, and I think the fighting chance would have been Here's the thing. Here's the coin toss. If he has max guard, he goes for max guard on my max lightning, and then air slash flinches me to death. Or I go for max guard to give myself the bulk advantage. There's the max starfall. Okay, so my opponent attempted to go for max starfall there. My opponent undynamaxes. And I think what I do here with my giant oven is I just max lightning and hope that I can beat the memes. That I can beat the memes. It puts me down under my berry. I get to eat my berry. Don't get flinched. 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 Yes! Oh, we beat the memes. We're 2-1. Oh boy. That's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted right there. I wanted to make sure we could beat the memes, and we did. And you know what? I'm okay. I may have lost to another team that I already knew exactly everything they were going for, but I beat the memes, and that's what I'm here for. So we're gonna wrap this up right here. 2-1 on the ladder. We're gonna be slightly above where we started, just like normal. But I'm just thankful that we beat the memes, and we got a bottle of carbos. Look at that. I do not want to quit, or I want to quit battling, and I want to see where we ended up. Update rank. We're gonna be just a little bit above rank 7, but I'm gonna be wrapping it up right here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys are happy that we overcame the memes, leave a like on the video, please. It helps me sleep at night. And of course, if you guys are new, feel free to hit that subscribe button for some more VGC content. Wish me luck at my mid-season showdown. Hopefully I don't get memed out by Explosion So Volley. But anyways, be great, do great, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.